What's up, everybody? In this video, we're going to be reviewing the brand new DC Multiverse figure from the McFarlane toy line, Batman/Superman, the Fusion figure. Let's get into it. Okay, in this video, we are going to go over three topics: presentation, articulation, and whether or not this figure is or isn't something that you want to pick up for your collection. Up first, presentation. Here we have our standard DC Multiverse McFarlane toy line box with the window on the front so we can see the figure and the accessories that he comes with. Down below, we have the DC Multiverse logo and the name of the figure, Batman/Superman. Up here in the right-hand corner, 12 plus, and then above that, the McFarlane Toys symbol. And over here, it says we have 22 moving parts with this figure. Here on the side, we have the DC Multiverse logo, Batman/Superman, Fusion, and then Batman/Superman, World's Finest. On the back, underneath the name of the figure, we have Batman and Superman, and then the fusion that they created. This is some pretty stellar looking artwork. On the other side of the box, we have more of the same with the logo and the name. On the bottom of the box, here is the barcode, if any of you are interested in that. So far, for the inbox presentation, this is exactly what I would expect from the McFarlane toy line. Before we go any further and take the figure out of the box, I wanted to show you guys that we were able to pick up the Platinum Chase version of this figure. The only difference between these two figures is the color of the belt and the color of the legs, and then the batarangs are clear on this figure and not on this one. We are going to leave the Platinum Chase variant sealed for my sealed Platinum Chase collection. Okay, let's open him up. Now that we have the figure out of the box and we're getting a 360 view, let's talk about how the Batman/Superman fusion came to be, because this figure is very new to the DC Multiverse. Batman and Superman were in an all-out war with Green Lantern, Hal Jordan's version to be specific. And Hal Jordan's body had been taken over by an evil entity, and they were losing the battle terribly. But in a moment of pure genius, Superman and Batman were able to get Green Lantern's power ring away from him, and they used that ring to fuse together to create the ultimate warrior to give themselves the upper hand in the fight. Very cool. As we're getting a 360 view of the figure here, I would like to say I just love the color palette that they went with. The red, the black, the blue, it all goes very well together. And that head sculpt reminds me of Batman Beyond. And since I am a huge Batman Beyond fan, I am in love with that head sculpt. This figure is very striking and brings a lot of attention to itself. Before we go any further though, let's take a look at the accessories that this guy came with. Okay, up first for the accessories. This figure came with your standard black DC peg stand that comes with every single McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Up next, he came with one swap out hand, which is an open hand. Then he came with 3 batarangs, green to be specific. And I would assume that these are kryptonite batarangs. That's just common sense, I guess, there. And up last, but certainly not least, is the very cool card that came with this figure. Very cool artwork, same as on the back of the box. And here is the back of the card. If you guys would like to pause the video now, so you can read the data file on Batman/Superman Fusion. Okay, let's take a closer look at the figure. Alright, now let's get an up-close look at the figure. There's that head sculpt that I was talking about, looking a lot like Batman Beyond. Here's a nice, really close 360 of the detail in the figure. Very cool. Alright, so wrapping up the presentation portion of this video, I would give this figure a solid 8.0 out of 10, as the presentation was pretty solid. Let's move on to articulation. Before we move on to the articulation part of this video, if you guys are enjoying the content, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and become a part of the Comic King 89 family, and turn those bell notifications on so you guys can get notified every time we upload a new video. And it would really help me out if you guys would hit that like button and comment down below and let me know if this figure is something you are excited about or you're going to pass on it because it's just not for you. Doing these things really helps out the channel. Thank you. Okay, now let's dive into the articulation on this figure and see what it has to offer us, starting with the head. First, side to side, pretty good range of motion. Down, he can look pretty far down. That is as far back as we can get his head to go. You can get the head to do a full 360, which is nice. The shoulders have very good articulation. That's as far back as you can get them to go, which is perfect for me because I actually really like this pose. He does have double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. His ankle is not on a ball joint, but that's fine. And he does have toe articulation. Knees are pretty stiff, but that's okay. He does have torso articulation. Pretty good range of motion there. All in all, I would say that this figure's articulation is pretty solid. For the articulation on the Batman/Superman fusion figure, I would give this figure a 7.2 out of 10. Alright, let's get a final 360 view of the figure. Off camera, I was able to get him in this really neat pose, holding his batarang. Should you or should you not pick up this figure? Let's talk about that. If you are looking for a new, fresh take on the Batman/Superman line, then absolutely yes. This figure is very cool, and you can put him on either shelf, the Batman shelf or the Superman shelf, so that's pretty awesome. If you happen to come across the Platinum Chase variant, I suggest not opening it because it will gain value over time, and these Batman/Superman fusion figures are not easy to find right now, so coming across one period is kind of hard. Overall, I have really enjoyed reviewing this figure for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. Until next time, never stop collecting.